Every workflow is going to require a trigger to ignite the workflow. It's like lighting a match and putting it into the fire, and the fire ignites. These are your triggers. And there are a ton of triggers. In our appointment confirmation recipe, we have an appointment trigger. And you'll see right here, anytime you have a trigger, it's going to break it down to detail those triggers. Let's select Add a new trigger so you can get an idea of what these do. Under the workflow trigger, you'll see triggers based on a specific contact, things like birthday reminders, contacts changed, contact created, a contact that's in D&D, a contact tag, which this will be the most popular one you'll want to use to ignite workflows. I find that tags work flawlessly. Custom date reminders, notes added, notes changed, tasks added, task reminders, and task complete. You also have events as well. You'll see all of these listed here. You'll see right here whenever you see a trigger with a crown, this is a premium workflow trigger. So these work off of your credits. So you want to make sure that if you're using any premium workflow triggers or actions, that you have your credits set up and fully loaded. These are things like instead of using a third-party tool like Zapier, you can actually create events in here. And so there's just a tiny cost associated with premium triggers. Inbound webhooks or things like events, this would be something you might pull from a third-party software to bring into your automation. You'll also see events like calls, email events, customers replied, forms, surveys submitted, trigger links clicked, a Facebook lead ad form, which we talk about this in the Facebook lead ad training, TikTok forms submitted, maybe some video tracking. I'll skip the Twilio because you're either using Twilio or LC LinkedIn lead forms. You'll also see the appointment triggers right here, appointment status and appointment booked. I recommend using appointment status. It's most effective on using that for appointments. You'll also see opportunity triggers. Then we've got affiliates created, any membership triggers, a course started, category in the course started, completed, lessons, new signups, offer access granted, offer access removed, products, product access removal, a product started, a product completed, and user login. You'll also see payments when it comes to invoicing, payments received, order form submissions, and order submitted. And if you're using Shopify, you'll see these as well. And we also have IVR, which we cover in the phone section. Workflow triggers is what starts the execution. You have to give an automation workflow a trigger. It has to be notified somehow. Most common is tags. But in appointment reminder, in our particular case, it could be appointment booked. You can use the search feature right here to show appointment status. Anytime you select a trigger, you're going to see when it opens up, it's going to tell you choose a workflow trigger. You're going to see the status. You can give it a name. I recommend naming it something so if somebody else was looking at your automation workflow, we know what this was. It says appointment status. This might be, let's change this and say appointment confirmed, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You'll see filters to be able to filter the trigger. So when you see filters right here, when it says add filters, this is where we can select appointment status is confirmed, appointment status is new. Other filters could include has a tag, or maybe they're in a specific calendar. If they booked a specific calendar, a class calendar, then this automation is going to be related to this calendar. And you can continue to add other filters as well. Modified, user is, has tag, appointment status is confirmed. For example, if I wanted to send out an appointment reminder for my class schedule, I would have set it for the calendar and that the appointment status is confirmed. That would make for a great trigger. And all you've got to do is select save, and now your trigger is set. And you can see how we named the trigger. Let's just look at a couple of other common ones. You can have add a tag, which you would again see the choose the workflow trigger. Tag is, let's say appointment, and we can now add a filter that says select, tag added, or tag removed. We're going to add a tag, And we'll add a tag that says appointment. And if we add the tag that says appointment, now we've given that trigger in adding a tag all the details. Let's go for another one. My favorite is to use the form is, a form submitted. When you create forms under sites and forms, this is a great way to create workflow automations to trigger based on somebody filling out a form. If you have a lead magnet on your website, a contact us page that has a form, maybe you've got a newsletter or a promotion that you're running. They filled out a form and now we can trigger a workflow. And you can do it based on form. Again, you'll see it's common. It's going to open up the trigger. We can say the form submitted is. Maybe it's our website, contact us. I'll go ahead and give it a label. And when I select add, guess what I'm going to do? Form is, and what would be the form? Our website contact form. And it will give you a list of all your forms, but this trigger will ignite when somebody fills out this specific form. I'll show you one more here. Let's go into specific communications. Things like customer replied. This is a very good one. If the customer replied from where. So let's come over here. We're going to select reply channel. And the trigger to this would be if they replied to a chat widget, an email, a Facebook Messenger, a Google Business, an Instagram, or a text. So you could create a variety of automations based on your Facebook Messenger, your Google Business. If they send you a message from that channel, then you can set actions to the workflows to guide that customer or guide you and your team through a bunch of variety of actions. So as long as you remember these components and adding a trigger, selecting the perfect trigger that's going to ignite the actual actions that you want to do, that's when the puzzle comes into play. You set up your triggers, and then we set up the actions to work to put in all the pieces to get to the end of the workflow, or we can do things like adding them to a new workflow when they finish the current workflow.